I do what I do for a living. It's a bunch of disembodied conversations with people that sit in my back seat and driving and a lot of traffic. A lot of traffic. Most of these people aren't even from here. And two of the biggest occupations for my mind to be caught up in is wondering if this is going to be how I die, just driving somewhere, just dying in traffic due to a collision, whether it's my fault or someone else's. So that's one thing I wonder about. And then, of course, connected to that, but not really, is like, how long will I be doing this for before something breaks in my direction and I'm able to get out of this terrible occupation? So then, I wonder about that side of things, from shallow to deep, as far as like how much of my life this job will claim. All of it or some of it. I also wonder about what my passengers think about me. Here I am behind the wheel an ungodly amount of hours, not even entirely because of Uber, but because I live in my car. So like, I'm always pretty much here. If I'm not at the gym bathing or working out, or if I'm not like outside of my vehicle like cleaning it or putting gas in it or having oil changed in it, maybe I might be in my storage unit, like fetching things or dropping things off, or I don't really hang out in there because I'm afraid I'm going to get my privileges revoked and they'll kick me out and I'll have to go get another unit somewhere right off the drop of a hat. That would be frustrating. What else do I do outside of my car? I go to the grocery store or Handyway to get supplies. I sometimes go to like a Target or something like that to do just like that, in the Tanger outlet up in Norman, to do window shopping or buy Bath and Body Works for my car, for myself. It's fun to smell good things. What else do I do outside my vehicle? I go to Tate and O'Brien's over in New Smyrna sometimes, or another place in town, to just kind of hang out at a local watering hole and watch people have more fun than I ever will. Teetotal some drinks. I mean, I do drink. I just, like, as I talked about in previous videos, you can't really get hammered when you have nowhere to sleep it off. Like, if you're crashed out in the parking lot because you have nowhere to go and the cops smell booze on you, it's not going to go well for you, even if you have nowhere to be. Like, that's bad times. You will have a place to be. A holding cell. Anyways, so here I am, spending the vast majority of my life in my car, for want of anywhere better to be. I don't have friends whose houses I can hang out at. Nobody's going to let me sleep on their couch. So I pick up these passengers and we go down the road, and sometimes I'll sit here and just listen to music, and they'll just chill and stare at their phones or listen to their own music in their headphones at volumes that are probably not healthy for their hearing. Or we'll talk about complicated stuff, or simple stuff, or fun stuff, or terrible stuff, or funny stuff, or kind of like morbid stuff, depending on what my mood is and what their mood is and how nihilistic I am that day. And I gotta ask myself, as the second consideration, other than how much of my life this job will take, what do my passengers think of me sitting in here, driving them around while slowly losing my motherfucking mind? I can feel my sanity slipping away. It's dwindling. It's a definite fact. I've read things and saw videos about what isolation does to a person. And even if you're in with other people, like in society, and like you're interacting with your cashier, making jokes with the bartender, talking to your passengers, it's not really real, because my environment is so static and unchanging, and because of the sameness. Like, I don't always have the capacity to tell like what day of the month it is, or like keeping schedules or making appointments. I'm very bad. I haven't filed my taxes for last year yet. I mean to. I just don't know what I'm doing, and they're going to fucking rob me if I go to H&R Block and have them help me with it. They're ridiculous. That should be illegal for how much they charge me, considering I'm not going to get anything back. I'm going to owe money. So I'm going to pay money to owe money. I'll do it myself, but I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it tomorrow. But I just get trapped in this cycle of driving nonstop and just being on call continuously. And when you're on call for Uber, like, I might be interrupted in making this video and have to just like go do a thing at any given moment. Or it could be 3 hours before I get my next ride. There's no stability, there's no predictability, and it's just absolute reign of chaos. That is my life. Like an algorithm at the other end of the app just shoots me ride requests every now and then, and I just got to drop what I'm doing and go give the ride because that's what I get paid to do. And around that, I just got to make my time as best I can. And generally, I read books or play shitty phone games or scroll Facebook or listen to podcasts or just music and just sit there and stare out at nothing. Whatever. And so I'm losing my mind. This passenger's getting in a car with me, and sometimes I just had this most morbid conversation with this poor girl I picked up. I was driving her home from her work, and I'm just like, kind of just musing over, like, if I'm going to die doing this. And she's like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, whatever you do the most is probably going to statistically be a higher likelihood of what takes you out. If you're a sports person, your heart could stop. If you're a competitive eater, you might choke to death. If you're me, always on the road, you might get in a collision and a semi-truck cuts you off and you die. Even if you're paying attention, they're not always avoidable collisions. And what if I have road hypnosis or something on a given day because I've been going 13, 14 hours straight? There's nothing for it but to do that. I would love to work 4 to 6 hour days and just do whatever I wanted with the rest of my day, but that's not what I get paid to do, and I don't get paid enough per ride to I can retire after this one. Doesn't happen. So what do my passengers think? They get in the car with this fucking absolute fucking whack job who's been doing this way too long. Clearly it's not healthy for him. But, for my money I'm getting a ride to wherever I'm headed to, so I guess it's alright. He's not harmful. He's not gonna hurt me. His car is clean, it smells good, he drives safe. He's just losing his fucking mind. I wonder how that reflects on Uber. What do we do for our drivers? Well, we give them a little bit of money for rides sometimes. We cost them more money than they make some weeks, and we drive them insane and burn them out and use them up and then throw them away. We basically rely upon them just getting frustrated and quitting so we don't have to ever give them any kind of incentive or pathway towards, upward mobility or, job growth or anything. We're just going to use them up and throw them in the trash. That's our business model. That's great PR. I know after doing this for over a year now straight, full time, sometimes as little as 15, 20 hours a week, sometimes as many as 60 hours a week on the clock, not including all the things I do around that, which are work related. I just don't clock those hours. It's all going away. My mind is, I don't even remember my dreams anymore. I haven't had a dream in months that I recollect. I'm sure I do dream. The only dreams I ever do remember is somebody gives me a lot of money, or I get a really great job from a passenger. Oh, you got great work ethic, Sonny. I'm going to hire you for my big multi-million-dollar corporation. And then I wake up and realize it was just a dream. And then I kind of shed a tear. And then I start getting dressed. And I changed my clothes in my car. And, I put my car in order. And I go to the car wash and clean up. And then I go to work. And that's pretty much my repeating life. It just never really changes. I don't know what it's going to take for anything to change. Or if anything's going to change. And then I got pieces of shit like my so-called family that I just can't stop caring less about. It always seems like I find another level of insufficient fucks to give for their nonsense. They could have been, helpful. They could have been there. They weren't. They want to act like they were and it's all my fault. Well, there's a lot of things that are my fault. But so what? Everybody wants to go, but family's everything. Well, it is everything, but not when you're not there for people and you have nothing but conditional love. Love isn't love if it's conditional, it's just tolerance. Well, I've tolerated my family enough. Now they don't fucking talk to me no more and they wonder why I have no tolerance for them. Well, Scooby-Doo, figure out the mystery. And that's my rant for the day.